Hey, what is up everybody, and welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today guys, I've got some reviews. I'm doing a little bit of a review showcase video here today. We're going to talk about some Paramount titles that have come out in the month of November, and I've got some cool stuff to talk about. Look, let me just run down what we're going to talk about here today, because it's on the thumbnail. It's no mystery. We're going to talk about The Running Man on 4K. All of these I have watched, by the way. We're going to talk about The Running Man. We're going to talk about some Saturday Night Fever. We're going to be staying alive. This is going to be one of those type of videos, guys. Just prepare you. But Saturday Night Fever on 4K. We're also going to be talking about Blue Hawaii, starring Elvis, the new Paramount Presents 4K. This video is already going to get taken down, copyright striked all over the place if I keep singing. But yeah, this is a great release. And then we're going to talk about Wayne's World on 4K. So I'm really excited to get into it. These are going to be mini reviews. You know, they're not going to be super in-depth. I am going to cover like just the movies and the picture quality and just features and packaging. I'll do little unboxings and all that kind of stuff. But Paramount has really had a killer month for physical media. Like, they have done a lot. So definitely go check out my review for Top Gun Maverick that came out at the very beginning of the month, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which just came out this week. I did standalone reviews for both of these Paramount titles, so go check those out, see if they're worth picking up. All right, so look, let's get into it. Let's get it. What am I going to talk about first? Let's go in order. Let's go. Maybe it'd be smart to go in the order of release date. That way I can keep everything straight. So let's talk about The Running Man 4K Steelbook. So this is from Paramount. Of course, this is a Paramount Showcase review video. Of course, it's from Paramount. So I've got a little bit of a story tied to this release. I went on a journey to get the Running Man 4K Steelbook. I had some struggles along the way for sure. So my first one that came in the mail with Amazon, I may have a picture, I may not. I don't know if I still have that picture. But it was smashed all to hell. The Steelbook was like crumpled in, like it was a disaster. Like it was really bad. It wasn't just like a spine slash or a little dent in the side. Like this thing was like crushed in the packaging. So I had to send that one back to Amazon and then get a new one in. And yeah, I got the new one in, and of course I got to watch this. So let me talk about The Running Man on 4K. First off, let's show off the Steelbook. So this is a slip cover. This is just a regular cardboard slip covers. Paramount's been doing this. They've been putting regular cardboard slip covers on their Steelbooks. I know that's a little controversial for some people because they just expect, after Lionsgate's really changed the game, they've really changed our expectations of what we expect out of a Steelbook moving forward. So Lionsgate puts these awesome like plastic slip covers that are just incorporated with the actual Steelbooks themselves. When you take them off, like they actually add to the Steelbook when you put them on and take them off. And the ones that Paramount are doing are just like regular slip covers on top of the Steelbook. So you take this out right here, which, you know, I'm fine with it. Like, I really like the Ring Steelbook. Yeah, it would be a little bit cooler if it was plastic, but I'm fine with the cardboard. It's not too bad. I'll kind of zoom in on the back there, pictures of the synopsis and the specs and the casting list and all that good stuff. But let's show off the actual Steelbook. This is a beautiful Steelbook. I really, really love the design on this. And I'll show you the spine right there. And then we'll show you the back. Beautiful back cover to this as well. So let's see. This also has a digital code, but it only has a 4K disc. You know, Paramount's kind of known for that. Just doing the 4K disc, not the Blu-ray. Even though some of these, I think, have the Blu-ray and the 4K. And then we'll show you the back in all of its glory. I like that, you know, we got Arnold right there in his little suit, his Running Man suit. I'll take the disc out real quick. You got the host of the show right there. All right, so this was not a first time watch. I remember watching probably bits and pieces of this movie when I was a kid. It was never one of my favorites. Like, it wasn't one of those Arnold movies that I returned to, you know, a lot or anything. You know, I always watched Total Recall. I watched Predator. I watched T2. Like, those are my Arnold staples. Kindergarten Cop. The Running Man was not one of those. So this kind of felt like a first time watch, even though I did remember certain parts of this movie. And overall, I don't think this is a very good movie, to be honest. I don't think it's a very good movie. It's okay. It's fun. It's a fun, nostalgic piece starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. You get some cool, like, action set piece moments. Like, the actual idea of the movie is pretty cool. And I used to be a big fan. I don't know if anybody remembers playing this video game, but Super Smash, what was it called? Not Super Smash Brothers, Smash TV. That's what it was. Smash TV. It was like Super Smash TV. I had it on Super Nintendo. And that was a pretty cool game where you were kind of locked in, you were on TV and you were like doing battles and stuff in like this little arena. And I think that game is based on this movie. I could be wrong, but it kind of felt like very similar when I was watching it. So there's some cool effects, there's some cool moments, some cool set piece moments. Arnold's, badass, and he's got his one-liners and all that stuff, going full swing. Arnold was just Arnolding it up in this movie. And this is the same year he did Predator as well. And yeah, I don't know. It was okay. It was okay to me, but I didn't love this movie like I was hoping that I would. I never go into an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie hoping to not like it. All right, so let's talk about this, the 4K transfer of this movie real quick. So this is a native 4K restoration with HDR and Dolby Vision and HDR10, and I thought it looked beautiful. I thought the picture quality was really beautiful. There's a nice grain structure. It is pretty grainy in some sequences, but it's not like too grain heavy. Like you can definitely there's still a lot of good clarity. There's still a lot of good facial detail. The colors are this is a very colorful movie, like especially when you get in that actual like TV show, like actual competition environment in the arena. Very colorful movie. I thought the detail was excellent. I thought the clarity was excellent. I thought all the colors really popped with the addition of that HDR. So this was I'm guessing that Paramount did this, maybe redid the restoration process, but this did have a 4K already from Cape Light Pictures. They actually put out a 4K in Germany back in June. So I don't know if Paramount used that 4K restoration. I couldn't find that information on Blu-ray.com, but I do know that Cape Light Pictures did a 4K of The Running Man back in June of this year. So I'm pretty sure though this is a new 4K restoration by Paramount with Dolby Vision HDR10, but again, I could be wrong. But anyway, picture quality was excellent. Now let's get into the main negative of this release, and that is there are no special features to be found here. And I mean none, like not even an audio commentary, just nothing. And I don't know if this film has always had nothing, but again, 35th anniversary edition of The Running Man. Why can we not get something? I don't get this at all. And this movie was, I didn't go over to the director, but directed by Paul Michael Glacier, which I off the top of my head, I don't know too much of his work off the top of my head. Based on the novel The Running Man by Richard Bachman. I knew it was a novel. I actually thought Stephen King did the novel for this one for some reason. I always had that in my head, but I guess not. But anyway, again, 35th anniversary, you can't get somebody that was in this movie to come back and do a special feature, or somebody that was on the production crew, or whoever. I don't care. Like, why? There's just no excuse for that, Paramount. There's just no excuse to not add in new special features in a 35th anniversary edition. So, look, at the end of the day, I think this is going for $27.99. It's a nice steelbook, but again, I want you to know this is a cardboard slipcover, not a plastic slipcover. I like the steelbook, but it's not the most mind-blowing steelbook that I've ever seen for sure. The transfer is good. I didn't love the movie. No special features. $27.99. This is a hard sell for me because you get Lionsgate steelbooks for $19.99. It's a hard sell for me. Would I recommend it at this price point? Probably not. Maybe wait till it goes down in price. I think at $20 I could probably recommend this to you guys, but no special features. That's just a no-no for me. That's a no-go. Hands down, no go for The Running Man on 4K, this steelbook. I honestly, I would not buy this. I wouldn't buy it right now. Maybe wait till later. It's like I said, it's an okay steelbook, but it's not the most mind-blowing. The movie, though, does look great in 4K. I thought they did a good job on the remastering. All right, let's talk about Saturday Night Fever on 4K from Paramount. So look, I said it, I think I said it on Instagram in a story post. This is probably my favorite movie that I've watched all month as far as like a new movie or a first time watch. I love this movie. I thought this was so freaking awesome. And the more I watch movies from the 70s, this movie was from 1977. John Badham directed this. So I'm another director. I'm not familiar with his filmography. I know Sylvester Stallone directed the sequel, Staying Alive, which I now want to watch, even though I haven't heard the best things about that movie. But I love this movie. I love John Travolta's performance in this movie. It's so, I don't know, there's just something about John Travolta like in the 70s, and like he did Grease the year after this, but he's so good in this movie. He's this little, I don't want to say a punk kid, but he's definitely a kid that's full of himself. He's flexing in front of the mirror. He's going downstairs. He's getting ready to go out for a night at the club, and he's going to the disco club and the disco bar and whatever, the dance club, the disco dance club. And he's at the table with his family, and his old man like hits him in the head. And he's like, Dad, my hair. You know, I do my hair. I spend so much time doing my hair, and then you mess it up. I don't know, just the way that he delivered his performance in this movie, I thought it was so freaking awesome. It was great, but it was also like hilarious. Like there was moments in this movie where I busted out laughing. I could not help it. It's not because I thought it was, you know, funny. There's some serious subject matter in this movie, in particular, when you get towards the end of it and you start to get into the messaging and the themes of this movie. It really hits. It really hits like on the dramatic beats very well. But it's also a very fun movie. It's a very stylish movie. Just the more I've seen from the 70s, guys, and again, I was trying to say this in the beginning when I started talking about it, the more I love. There's just such a grit to it. There's just such a realism to filmmaking in the 70s. Like when he's walking down the street to the beat of Staying Alive, like it's so iconic as soon as it starts and he's just walking down. And I got to point out the reference in Night of the Roxbury because they're doing the same thing. And I grew up loving Night of the Roxbury. So when John Travolta did the exact same thing when they're walking down the street that they did in that movie, I completely lost it. Like I marked out over that. I fucking love that he gets in that girl's face and everything. But it's just such a cool movie. I love it. I loved it so much. This is probably my favorite watch of the month. Now, I heard some people saying some negative things about this 4K transfer, and I could not disagree more. I thought this 4K restoration was phenomenal. I thought Paramount did a great job on this 4K. It is very grain heavy. Now, I talked about the grain in The Running Man. I would say this one definitely has some more grain, but it's a solid grain structure. Like it's not too distracting at all. It's just enough to remind you that you're watching a film. Like I don't mind grain in film at all. And in fact, in some cases, like particularly this film, because it just has such a gritty nature to it, I actually think it enhances the overall experience of watching the movie. So I didn't mind the grain in this, and the colors are so vibrant. Like when he's in that dance club dancing, and you just see the background of the dance club and the lights and shining everywhere. Like I thought that HDR Dolby Vision just really made the colors pop in this movie, and I thought it looked fantastic. So. Again, I have not seen this movie on Blu-ray. I did have the Blu-ray, but I did not have the time to pop in the Blu-ray and compare. But I thought the 4K looked fantastic. And again, you do get the 4K, you get the Blu-ray, and you get a digital code in this. So Paramount doesn't always give you the Blu-ray with their releases. And you get some great special features. Nothing new. And again, this is a 45th anniversary edition. So they should have included something new in terms of special features, but they did not. So, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll forgive them because there was enough there from older releases to really dig into and enjoy. So at least they had something here. But I love this slipcover. This slipcover is so freaking awesome. I love it. It's so colorful. I just love the way they did the title, and that kind of has that metallic shine. So cool. So cool. And John Travolta, man, such a badass in this movie. I love him. And yeah, then you kind of zoom in on that. This movie, though, I will say, it made me want to rewatch Grease. It really made me want to rewatch Grease. Even though I would say that this movie, Grease dives into some heavy themes, I feel like, as well, but not as much as this. That's definitely more lighthearted in tone. I would almost call this kind of the anti-Grease in terms of like, John Travolta, like musical movies around this time. And this movie's not a musical. Take this digital code out. I'll probably give that away at a later date. But looking at these two discs, just, plain disc right there. You got the Blu-ray, you got the 4K. And I'll show you all this once again. And then, show you all the casting list right there. But I loved Saturday Night Fever, guys. I loved this movie so much. So for me, this is a high recommendation. I thought the transfer was great. I loved the movie. I want to watch the sequel now. Hopefully the sequel gets a 4K, even though I know a lot of people don't like it. And yeah, it had special features, some great special features, even though they weren't new. And yeah, great packaging, great slipcover. This is $19.99 right now, guys. Highly recommend. If you can get, I don't know, I'm getting ready to talk about a really good one here in a second, but if you can get one film in these four that I'm talking about here today, I would get this one because the price is awesome. It's a great price, $19.99. It's a great movie. It's a great transfer. It's got some great special features, so highly recommend Saturday Night Fever, buying that one on 4K. Again, I'm going to link all these down below in the description. All right, so let's talk about the Paramount Presents Elvis movie, Blue Hawaii, on 4K, and this is spine number 36. So they are continuing, because this is the second 4K that I've gotten from them. They are continuing this kind of metallic spine. So I know some people kind of felt a certain way about it. They wanted it to match all their other ones when they put it on the shelf, but I kind of like it because it distinguishes between, like, if Paramount Presents is going to continue to do this, like, we're going to do some of our stuff in 4K and some of our stuff on Blu-ray, but also keep it in the same line. If they're going to continue to do that, then, you know, I wanted them to do something different to make these 4K stand out. So I don't mind the, you know, the difference in spine right there. I need to get the War of the Worlds 4K, but yeah, Paramount Presents number 36. This is a movie from 1961, and this is my first ever movie that I've seen starring Elvis. So this is my first Elvis performance that I got to, you know, watch and witness for the first time. The glory, the charisma, the on-screen presence of Elvis. And I have to say, I really enjoyed this movie. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's a, what would you call this movie? It's definitely a romantic comedy. I would say it's definitely falls in the romantic comedy genre. It's also got a little bit of drama in it as well, surrounding him and his parents wanting to take over the pineapple business, which Elvis is not supposed to be Hawaiian in this movie. I think he's supposed to be like from Alabama or something, and his family moved there to start up their Hawaii pineapple business or whatever, and he goes off to the military. So this is about him coming back, rekindling his romance and relationship with his old girlfriend. And, you know, this is a good movie. I really enjoyed this movie. It's a charming movie. It's a very easy, lighthearted movie. It's a very easy watch is what I was trying to say. And you just kind of get lost in the beauty of it, just the scenery and the performances and the characters. And it's a very enjoyable movie to watch. I didn't think it was like a masterpiece or anything, but it's a very solid, like, 1961, early 60s romantic comedy that I did quite enjoy. I did think it was funny that, like, every single female in this movie, and they even make a point of that, really hammer that home in, like, the third act. Every female in this movie, with the exception of his mom, who's played by Angela Lansbury, which even she wants a kiss when he comes back. Every single female in this movie wants Elvis and is, like, going crazy for him, like, the entire movie. Like, and he takes over as this tour guide at some point in the movie. That's actually, like, the major plot point of the movie. And his first, like, group that he's showing around is a teacher who's a female, and then, like, 4 of her female students. And then he's got his girlfriend that's all over him. So Elvis has got a lot of women all over him in this movie. So I'm sure that was by design. That was probably in his contract to make this movie. But I haven't seen too many Elvis movies. Like I said, he's been in like 30 movies. But I actually had the King Creole Paramount Presents edition back there. It was one of the first ones I ever bought. And I have not watched that one. So I need to go back and watch that movie. But I really enjoyed Elvis in this. He definitely, he's a little cheesy, a little hammy. But also that's kind of him. Like, you can just tell that that's who Elvis was. And I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Great music. And I did not know at all, guys, that song, Can't Help Falling in Love, was from this movie. The song that Ed Warren sings in The Conjuring 2, that's just the first reference that popped in my head, is in this movie. So I thought that, now that scene that it plays in was a little awkward. He's like singing it to an older lady, but he's also singing it to his girlfriend who's across the chair. And he's holding her hand while he's singing to the old lady, and the old lady's like looking at him. It's kind of awkward the way they play it, but the song's great. There's all kinds of great music in this. It's just a very enjoyable movie. Now let's get into the, the 4K transfer. I thought, I'm being completely honest here. Now let's get into the specs of this real quick. So this does have Dolby Vision and HDR10. And I thought this transfer by Paramount, like, this is easily, I think, like, maybe the second best transfer that Paramount's done this year. I think The Godfather is the standard. Well, Top Gun Maverick as well, but that's a newer movie. I'm talking about an older movie restored. This might be the second best of the year. And it's, to be honest with you, like, it's up there with Godfather. I would actually put it on the same level as Godfather. This was beautiful, like, beautiful. People want to talk about Paramount and how they don't do as great of a job with their 4K transfers as some of the other studios. Well, watch Blue Hawaii. And I don't know if they just have different people doing it for the Paramount Presents line or not, but my God, like, this was a stunning 4K transfer. Like, such great detail. There's all kinds of scenes where they're like swimming in the water and stuff and getting out. And when they get out, there's a scene with Elvis and his girlfriend, and they're just kind of laying on the beach and they got water all over their face. But the detail, like, you can see every single speck of water on their face, and it just looks beautiful. But just the Hawaiian setting, the scenery in this movie is just stunning. jaw-dropping, and in 4K, it looks great. Everybody's got on these really colorful outfits and costumes, and it's just a beautiful restoration by Paramount. They really did a hell of a job of this movie, and like I said, up there with The Godfather. Like, I would put it on the same pedestal as I do The Godfather as far as like a top, absolutely tip-top 4K restoration release of 2022. So I thought that as far as restorations, guys, if you got a bad taste in your mouth over planes, trains, and automobiles on 4K, and I really understand that, get Blue Hawaii, because my God, like, this is, Paramount needs to take this, the work, whoever did the work on this, and use those people for everything, because this was a stunning restoration by Paramount. So yeah, let's look at this real quick though. I love the Paramount Presents line because you have these little like fold out things. You can see the posters and stuff, which is really cool and awesome. But I'll show you the back. Even the back on this is super colorful as well. So yeah, just some good stuff right here. And I'll show you the actual case. I like how they still maintain the clear case though, and they didn't go the black case, because again, it makes it more uniform within this line. I'll show you the specs down there, and we'll open it up. It does have a digital code in it, and it does have a Blu-ray and a 4K. Look at that disc art. So beautiful. So beautiful on both of the disc arts. And you do have some interior artwork as well, which just highlights, like, just look at the images right there on the interior artwork, and just imagine that in 4K with HDR, and you can kind of picture what this transfer looked like. But I was blown away. I was blown away. First off, I really enjoyed the movie, but I was just blown away by this transfer. And now you don't get a lot of special features, so I got to knock it a little bit for that. You do get a commentary. You get an audio commentary by historian James L. Newbar. And I don't know if that's new or not. It might be new with this release. And you also get a Blue Hawaii photo scrapbook, and you get original theatrical trailer. So, but overall, guys, look, this is $30.09 right now currently. For that price, I would recommend this. I would absolutely recommend this. The movie is very enjoyable. Like, if you're in a bad mood, like a depressed mood or something, and you just want to be uplifted, you want your spirits uplifted, watch Blue Hawaii. It's a good movie, and the transfer was awesome. So for $30.09, I would recommend picking this one up for sure. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is Wayne's World on 4K, and I was really excited for this one to come out. This is my favorite comedy of all time, and this one came out on November the 15th. Blue Hawaii also came out on November the 15th. I don't think I mentioned that. And again, I'll be linking all these down below in the description if you want to purchase them. But Wayne's World, I love. I just think this movie still works so well. Like, the meta humor in this movie was way ahead of its time. The movie only gets better. Like, as it ages like a fine wine, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, the movie gets better with time. And just the stuff that they go into this movie, like with, like creators and being bought out, losing your creative freedom in order to make money, just losing your creativity, and just kind of losing yourself because you want to make some extra money, selling out. This movie handles that very well. And I think those themes are still present today, if not even more so, because there's way more creators today than there was back in the early 90s. So I think a lot more people now can relate to this movie. People on TikTok, people on YouTube, like, where people getting, product placement ads in their videos and stuff, and then people telling them that they're selling out because they're getting ads in their videos. Like, just that kind of stuff. The movie kind of dives into those themes. And I love the scene where Wayne is eating the Doritos, and they're going back and forth and talking about how it's sad when people sell out, and then he puts the pills in the little yellow different. Like, that's such a good, the movie is so smart. Like I said, with age, this movie only gets better. So I love Wayne's World, and I continue to love Wayne's World. This is my favorite comedy of all time. But Mike Myers and Dana Carvey in this movie. First off, I love Mike Myers as Wayne, but Dana Carvey is super underrated in this movie. He is really the MVP of this film. There are more times in this movie that I laugh out loud, and it's because of Dana Carvey's performance. He's so good in this movie. I love Dana Carvey as Garth. Like, when he leaves him alone on set and he goes, I'm having a good time. Or the whole like Bugs Bunny thing where he's on the card and he actually makes Wayne laugh in real life, which I've always thought that, because the laugh just seems like super like non-performed. Like, it seemed like it just came out of nowhere, like he couldn't control it. So I've always assumed that Garth improvised that line and made Wayne laugh, and they actually confirmed that in the special features, because there's a lot of really good special features on here. There's a commentary by the director, an extreme close-up, a featurette, and just a ton of great stuff on this release. Now, let's talk about it. So the movie itself, guys, look, I love this movie. 5 out of 5, hands down. Love this movie. Greatest comedy of all time. Rob Lowe's fantastic in this movie as well. And the chick that I can't remember her name. I know her. She was in movies in the 90s. She was in Call the Conquerors. Tia Carrera, I think is her name. But she is smoking in this movie. And yeah, she was definitely like just one of those it actresses back in the early 90s. I remember her popping up in a lot of different stuff. But yeah, great movie. Chris Farley has a cameo in this movie, and I just miss Chris Farley so much, but he's so good. He goes, first off, you get on the highway, and he's just like doing all the motions, and it's so great. I could talk about Wayne's World, honestly, for days. I could just do like a whole video series on Wayne's World on this channel, but I'm not going to bore you all with that kind of stuff. Let's get into this 4K transfer by Paramount. So this is a native 4K transfer. It has Dolby Vision, it has HDR10. I thought the transfer, it also has Dolby Atmos as well, which I thought sounded incredible. I haven't covered the sound on everything like I should have. Like I said, this is a very kind of bare bones. I'm covering 4 things. But anyway, Dolby Atmos with this release, thought it sounded incredible. There's a lot of, this movie has a great soundtrack. You got Alice Cooper performing in concert in this movie. You got, of course, Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, this movie brought back that song. And such a great soundtrack, and I love it. I thought everything sounded great in this movie. So yeah, Dolby Atmos is definitely a huge plus for this release. But the transfer itself, you know, for Dolby Vision HDR10, there are some scenes that certainly pop that look really great. Like that first, like, you know, club scene, or the nightclub scene, like the rock club scene in the beginning where they go into it, the gasworks. I thought all that stuff looked excellent. Like, all that stuff looked beautiful. But there's other sequences that I'm like, it just look really soft, look really, not blurry, but just like super grain heavy, and just the clarity's not there at all. And I didn't really notice a whole lot with that HDR kicking in. The colors didn't feel as vibrant in certain scenes and sequences as others. So I thought it was, as a transfer, a little bit too inconsistent for me, which definitely made me sad, because I love this movie and I wanted it to have the best possible picture quality that it could. And I don't think that Paramount did the best job on this release. I would honestly compare it. I did put in the Blu-ray. It looks better overall than the Blu-ray. I will say it looks better overall than the Blu-ray, but I have to compare this transfer to Wayne's World to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I feel like they put the same level of care into Wayne's World on 4K that they did with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So take that for what you will. I thought Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was an upgrade for sure, but not a great upgrade. So the thing you have to remember with this is you're not getting a great upgrade, and there's no new special features. Like, the big selling point on Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is you got those new special features, that new hour of extended and deleted scenes. You don't get anything like that with this release. So you're just buying this pretty much for the transfer. So if you're just buying this for the transfer, I don't know if I can recommend this one right now. It is $21.99. Maybe if it goes down to like $12, $13, I could give it a recommendation, because it is better than the Blu-ray. But at $21.99, I don't think, it kills me to say it, I love Wayne's World. I don't think I can recommend Wayne's World on 4K. But look, guys, that is my review of all of these movies, 4 of these movies, 4 reviews in one, guys. You guys got your money's worth today. Again, I will link all these down below. You can buy them based on my recommendation, whether I recommended them or not. I'll give you the option in the comment section below. Like I said, I can't ever like truly recommend or not recommend something. I can only give you my thoughts, and then you take those thoughts and then determine your own opinion, what sounds good to you at the end of the day. So appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Turn on the bell notifications. Follow me on all my social media accounts. Those will be linked down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.